And the question is, what is the next material? We don't really know, and I didn't really thought about this until I finished this rug. Until a couple of days ago, I was thinking that maybe the next material should go back into. We should go back into nature, into those ancient grasses, into more biological materials. So this patch of green wool, it represents for me. It's like saying maybe we need biological materials in our next wave of technologies. So if we use if we use materials that are more that integrate with the metabolisms and with the cycles of nature, then landfills wouldn't be a problem, because everything would just go back to the soil and to the processes of nature. So that's what I wanted to say there, I guess. I didn't really thought about this when I was weaving. I was just doing it and doing whatever I was feeling. But now I've just came up with these ideas about my rug, and I just want to share them with people. This part is a little bit, I don't know, different, because hold on. So yeah, this part I wanted to to ask the question, like, why the technology has developed in such a rapid phase, like from the discovery of fire to the use of wood, metal, stone, microchip. How the learning curve has been so steep, like exponentially. Whereas our spiritual growth hasn't been that developed yet. We still kill each other for really not very wise reasons. We still have wars, people in hunger. So that's really the question I was asking, and I came up with this concept. Here I have the mountain, the sacred mountain of my hometown, Teotitlán del Valle, which is the place where our ancestors got God's message that this was the land where they should live. So at the top of this peak is where the spirit of God came and talked to the priests, to the shamans, to the people. So that's why I choose this mountain. At the top of this mountain we have a cross that was put there by the Catholic priests that were preaching the new religion to our people. So this is a Zapotec eagle warrior. This is like an eagle mask, and these are feathers, but it also has the form of a wing. He's wearing a cape, and here he has the called Greca symbol. It's also known as the life cycle symbol, and this is the life cycle of a common person. Then his arm is transformed. It was transformed into a snake, and he's basically stabbing Jesus on the side. This is Jesus. He's blonde hair, completely naked, crucified in a cross upside down. And yeah, so there are many ways to interpret this part of the rug. Like, I say that he is a Zapotec warrior taking revenge against Jesus because of the spiritual, mental, and physical conquest of his people. So that's one interpretation. I also want to say that the eagle represents the spiritual energy of humans. Like the birds, they fly in the sky. They're ethereal. They're detached from the earth. So that's why it represents the spiritual energy. And that energy is stored from the belly button in all the organs, from the heart, the kidneys, all the way to the head. From the navel, from the belly button to the legs, we store the earthly energy, the material energy, those things that attach us to this earth. That's why it's represented by a snake. The snake is also known to be the wisest animal walking or on the surface of the earth. So when we balance both energies into one, we become a feathered snake, which is called, or like Quetzalcoatl means feather snake, and it's the balance of both types of energy, of both worlds. So another symbol, it's this big diamond, which represents the eye of God. Also, like when we become aware and more conscious, when we see the world as it is, then without judging, without an inner chattering, or inner dialogue, then we can see the world from the eye of God, from this diamond. So it's like a third eye. And we will see just how the energies flow in the universe. Because our ancestors believed that this world is just an illusion, that when we're born, we're born using certain lines of energy, but because of society or because the way we live in our routines, we are not open to use other lines of energy. So we don't accept other realities. But when you see the world through the eye of God, then you see the energy flows as they are, without judging. And then wisdom comes to you in the form of a butterfly. So you can see in the rug like all these different types and sizes and colors of butterflies. And they are all different because we're all different. And you may be able to identify yourself with one of these colors or combinations. So it also means that you see every head is a different world. Every human being will see a different butterfly when he sees the world through the eye of God. So yeah, that's what it means. And the other way of interpreting this part of the design is that here I represented Saint Longinus dressed in a Zapotec customs. So it's like saying, okay, we adopt the new religion, but we won't lose our traditions and our stories or belief system. We blend them into one. So that's what happened basically with the religion in Mexico. So Saint Longinus has his eyes red. You can barely see it on this video because he's blind. So he got blind on a battle, and they asked him to stab Jesus on the side. And when he did it, the blood that sprinkled into his eyes, or the water that sprinkled into his eyes, made him recover his sight. So this is the other way around.